Good evening. I'd like to call the special meeting of the Town Council Monday, May 13th to order, please. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Emily, will you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sue, will you call the roll, please?
Councilor Bailey?
Here.
Councilor Carbone?
Here.
Councilor Clancy?
Here.
Councilor Durick?
Here.
Councilor Rhodes?
Here.
Councilor Zambrello? Here. Councilor Timbrow?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Forrest? Mayor Rell? Thank you.
Mayor.
Rel. Last one this evening. That's all right.
Better fix that one.
Here, Mayor Lesser. Okay. Before we get to our budget news, I do want to pass on some very sad news, and I'm going to read this, so bear with me, please. I'm sorry to share the news of the unexpected passing over the weekend of longtime Weathersfield Historic Commissioner and Chair since the pandemic, Jennifer Hawk Wolf, a Weathersfield native who danced at Griffith Academy, attended South Catholic High School in Hartford, and Boston College undergrad. Jennifer returned to her home state to go to UConn Law School, making her mark in the Connecticut courtrooms for the next 30 years as a specialist in workmen's compensation law. Tonight, we give thanks for her greatest accomplishments, which took place in her hometown of Weathersfield, where she married her high school sweetheart, J.D., and with whom she raised an accomplished daughter, Molly, and a son, Jack, while working full-time and serving the community with her whole heart and soul. Jennifer contributed so much to Weathersfield personally and professionally. Her legacy echoes that of both the Hawk and Wolf families, including Weathersfield icon Eleanor Buck Wolf. It's truly saying something, so it is with great respect the town extends our condolences to the family and all who knew this very special citizen of Weathersfield. I ask us all to take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. The purpose of tonight's special meeting, is to adopt the 24-25 budget. We will have 11 separate motions, and we will begin right away with the first motion. Do I have a motion? Councilor Durick.
Thank you, Mayor Lesser. I'll move that the budget as submitted by the town manager on April 1st, 2024 be and hereby is amended as follows. Increase $200,000, account 41203, building permits. Increase $500,000, account 47401, investment income. Increase $1,840,000, account 49002, appropriated fund balance. Decrease $4,866, account 120, town manager. Decrease $842, account 140, information technology services. Decrease $1,596, account 150, town clerk. Decrease $12,000, account 160, elections. Increase $1,061, account 220, finance. Decrease $3,855, account 230, tax assessor. Decrease $1,686, account 240, tax collector. Decrease $7,758, account 300, economic and community development. Decrease $6,051, account 410, building inspections. Decrease $86,489, account 420, police. Decrease $2,169, account 440, fire marshal. Decrease $10,257, account 510, engineering. Decrease $125,776, account 520, physical services. Decrease $3,856, account 620, social and youth services. Decrease $19,080, account 700, public library. Decrease $16,547, account 800, parks and recreation. Increase $247,440, account 950, transfers CIP, CNEF.
Thank you, Councilor Durick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
One nay? Sue, do you need you have it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Item 2, do I have a motion? Counselor Zambrella.
I move that the town council adopt the town budget as submitted by the town manager on April 1st, 2024, and as amended by the town council in the sum of $59,609,191 for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Counselor Clancy. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Sue, do you have it?
Yes.
Item 3, Counselor Zambrella.
I move that total appropriations for library purposes be set at $2,251,191 for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024.
Do I have thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Dirk. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Passes unanimously. Item 4, Counselor Zambrella.
I move that the budget as submitted by the town manager on April 1st, 2024 be and hereby is amended as follows to decrease the request for school purposes by $946,467.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Counselor Rhodes. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Sue, do you have that?
Yes.
Item 5, Counselor Zambrella.
I move that the total appropriation for school purposes be set at $64,937,803 for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Counselor Clancy. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Sue? Number 5. Sue, do you have the vote or no?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it here. Thank you. Give me 1 second. Okay, thank you.
All said, Sue?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 6, Counselor Zambrella.
I move that the total appropriation for the capital and non-recurring road fund be set at $2,100,000 for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second. Counselor Clancy, second. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Sue?
Thank you.
Are you good, Sue?
I am good.
You are.
Thank you.
Item number 7, do I have a motion? Counselor Rhodes.
I move that the total amount to be raised by taxes for town, library, school, and capital and non-recurring road fund purposes combined be set at $101,094,891 for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Dirk. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Sue?
Thank you.
Item number 8, Counselor Rhodes.
I move that the general fund tax rate on all real and personal taxable property excluding motor vehicles be set at 42.63 mils for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Dirk. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
I can't get it to click.
So you can always call for a roll if you need it.
It's just that I can't get it to click. Thank you.
Good?
Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
Item number 9, Counselor Rhodes.
I move that the general fund tax rate on all motor vehicle taxable property be set at 32.02 mils for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Do I have a second? Second. Second by Counselor Clancy. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you.
Item number 10, Counselor Rhodes.
I move that the capital and non-recurring roads fund tax rate on all real and personal taxable property excluding motor vehicles be set at .59 mils for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Counselor Zambrello. Discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 11, Counselor Rhodes.
I move that the capital and non-recurring roads fund tax rate on all motor vehicle taxable property be set at .44 mils for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Zambrello. Discussion on the motion.
I have a quick question. Is that state, does the state put that on, the number? Or do we?
It's the road fund.
The state sets the cap at the total for motor vehicles, so it's a combination of this item and then if you go back up to item number 9.
9 and 11.
And that's what the state sets as the cap, those two combined.
Further questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So that concludes the budgeted motions. I'll now entertain any comments on the budget as a whole, and I will make some after, but does anybody want to make some comments on the budget? Any counselor? No? I'll make some comments, and certainly you can, if anybody want to go after me. First of all, I want to start by thanking our town manager, our finance director, Mike, Erica, and all the town staff that worked on this, our superintendent, Michael Emmett. We've been together a lot over the last month, and you probably get tired of seeing me, so we will not be together quite as much. This is the busiest time of the council session from April and May. Tonight completes that work. And for a lot of us up here, it is the first budget. The majority of the folks on this council, it is your first budget, and you did an amazing job, and it's a lot of work. You asked a lot of really good questions. For a couple of you, I think it's your second budget, and then for a couple of us, Matthew, myself, we've been through a few of these, several of these, and it's not easy work. It's a lot of work to get through a budget. They're not easy decisions to make. Let me just throw out a couple of highlights, and then again, I'll see if anybody has any comments, and if not, we'll adjourn. I'll take a motion to adjourn if no one else has any comments. The overall spending increase is 5.18%, a little over 5%. The tax increase is a little over 3%, 3.08%. And that is because we use some of the revenue items to keep the tax rate a little bit lower than where the spending increase is. The mills are going up 1.44. So in my view, and I think some of us up here, maybe not all of us, but in my view, this is a very fiscally responsible budget. I'm proud that it is, but let me highlight a few things that this budget invests in. One, we have a Board of Ed increase of 4.97, which is the largest increase in over a decade in the funding of the schools, and we're saying that funding of the schools is very important to us, and so that was a significant thing in this budget. And then, so that's one. I'm going to mention two others, and I want to call out a couple of counselors on that. First, Counselor Bailey, we decided to make a significant investment in the fire suppression budget by significantly increasing the amount of points or stipend dollars. And the reason why I mentioned Counselor Bailey, because I asked him, what his thought and what his opinion was, and that this was important, and that we could probably phase it in over a couple of years, which is what we've been talking about, what we were planning to do. I also met with the chief on this and a couple, I think several firefighters about this, and they felt from a competitive advantage that they needed this stipend increase, or needed a stipend increase, because our surrounding towns do not have as low, or said a different way, have a higher stipend than we do. And as many of you know, but it's worth repeating, we have the largest continuous volunteer fire department in the United States from 1803, hope I get this right, to 2024, 221 years. That's a claim to fame of Weathersfield. We want to keep it that way, and doing this investment in the fire department, and I think it's an important investment. And I want to thank everybody, and again, Councilor Bailey, for offering the suggestion, telling it's important, and offering the suggestion to phase it in. And I know we felt as a council, or many of us, that this was really, really important to do. And lastly, I want to mention another investment into education, which is the playground at Emerson Williams. We are putting $100,000, and I want to thank Counselor Dirk, who went there personally and viewed it. I don't know if you played on it and went down, up and down the slide or the other things there, Counselor Dirk, but I know you saw that it was in disrepair and probably was not safe. So we thought we would make another additional investment in education. It's $100,000 that we put in for the playground at Emerson Williams. So again, thank everybody. Appreciate the hard work everyone did. I think, budget is very challenging, but I'm proud of the budget that we passed. We made some significant investments while being fiscally responsible to the taxpayers of Weathersfield. I'll ask again if anybody has any comments or questions, and then if not, we'll adjourn. Does anybody want to say anything? Yes, Councilor Carbone.
Thank you, Mayor Lesser. Sorry, I'll just get that out there. So that was fun, right? Everybody have a great time. So that was my second budget that, it didn't get any easier, Ken, just so you know, than the first budget. People say, oh, it's politics. Don't take it personally. I take it very personally. This is very personal to me. It's my town. This is, again, I promise not to cry this meeting. But, I do want to protect everyone's wallet and every person in this town, and as Mr. Mazzarella had so eloquently put it, there's about a fifth of our residents who even this fiscally responsible budget will be a little challenging for them. It is, my challenge with this is I just feel like we could have done a little bit better. I think you did great, though. I'm going to throw out some kudos there. I love that you shifted a few things around to help cover the costs, and I really appreciate that. I think that was great. But there's a few things in the manager's budget and a few things in the Board of Education I think we could have just done a little bit better with. But kudos to everyone up here, because that was really difficult. But I just wanted to explain that's where I was at, and the reason I couldn't support a few things. But overall, I think I'm glad we're done with that.
Thank you, Councilor Carbone. Further council comments? Councilor Dirk.
Thank you, Mayor Lesser. I'm just going to put in a few more things that that was important to us when we looked at the budget. If we look at the median home value in Weathersfield and how they're going to impact the tax rate, it's going to impact by $254 annually, which is about $21 per month, meaning that half the homes in Weathersfield will see less than $21 increase in their property tax, and half the homes in Weathersfield will see increase of a little bit over $21 per month. Yes, it's an increase, but given the inflation, the prices going up and everything else, I think that's a small increase compared to everything else. And it was important for us to keep our increases as low as possible, given that everything else is skyrocketing. Just like everybody else, we had so many different things we wanted to do. It was hard to choose between a playground and what police needs and what the school needs, but there's only so much money available, and we cannot hurt our residents more, and I think we have done a lot of different things to get where we are today, and we will try to do different things when it comes to the different grants and other sources of funding to do even more throughout the year. But I think just given the overall situation economically, I think we have kept the budget as low as possible, given all the increases which the town as well sees, all these different increases on their operations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dirk. And I actually had in my notes that the average taxpayer was going to go up $254 on their property tax, and I totally forgot to say it. So thank you, Councilor Dirk, for covering that. Any other council comments? Councilor Zambrello.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, thanks to everybody in the town staff for all your work on this. We had so many meetings that ran over in time because we had so many questions, and just really appreciate all the time that all of you spent putting this together and helping us walk through it, especially with all of us new folks. Like, we needed a lot of help to understand all the inner workings here, so really appreciate all that you did. And I just want to point out a couple other things that I'm excited about in this budget, and I will say I know that this was a particularly difficult year. We're out of federal funding for the most part. We are dealing with inflation, which impacts everybody in this town, including the town. So we tried to strike as good of a balance as we could between what the town needs and what the people can afford. So I appreciate that we were able to use some of that revenue to offset some of the impact. But we did also make some good investments, and I think we made some investments that are going to hopefully bring our costs down in the long run. We've been talking a lot about highly efficient government, and yet we heard a lot about during our workshops and our deliberations that we still do so much on paper that we really don't need to do on paper. So we did some things like finishing our land records scanning. We are going to invest in the OpenGov software, and these are things that are going to get us away from paper a bit more, make it easier for people to interact with our government, and then combined with the new website, I think that's a really good place for us to be going forward. Hopefully lowers costs and effort for everyone involved. So that I appreciate. I'm excited about the restructuring of the town manager's department and the economic development / planning department. I think that's going to go a long way too towards making our government more efficient. We weren't able to put as much into economic development, the programs that they've been doing, as we would have liked. Unfortunately, it was funded by ARPA, so we worked some of it into the town budget. Would we have loved to do more? Of course, but I think that investment is still significant, and combined with the new way we're running these departments, I think it's going to go a long way. And with the new assistant in a couple of these offices, that's going to take some off the plate of the people who are doing some of the really heavy lifting. So I appreciate that. Also got some new equipment for public services. We've had this chronic issue with deferred maintenance. We can't fix it all overnight, but we're trying to do a few things to make sure we don't keep dealing with broken down equipment. And we were fortunate to see some savings in health insurance, and also the state budget gave us a bit of a break on education funding, which we appreciated. So we're able to maintain that without cutting anything. Of course, I want to give everything to our schools that we possibly can. We're trying to balance the needs of the schools with the needs of the town and making the investment that's sustainable. And I think we've achieved that. I've learned a lot this year that I'll definitely be bringing to next year. So yeah, overall, I'm satisfied with this. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Councilor Zambrello. Further council comments? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, am I allowed to make it? Maybe I can. Yeah,
You
thank
just
you.
made a motion, so.
Yeah, okay. Second by Councilor Fine. Councilor Durick, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.